So, hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Dynamics Intellectuals Podcast. I'm delighted to have you with me today. Let me introduce you to our viewers. Our guest today is Mr. Saurav Dhyani, a distinguished Microsoft MVP specialized in Microsoft Dynamics NAV and Dynamics 365 Business Central. He currently serves as Director of Technology at Edhate Consulting Private Limited, bringing over 14 years of rich experience as a developer, consultant, support engineer, and trainer within the Dynamics ecosystem. Beyond his corporate leadership, he's a passionate community contributor, recognized for his active involvement in solving technical challenges, sharing knowledge with Dynamics enthusiasts through blogs, forums, and social media. Thank you for joining us on this podcast, sir. It's truly a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Gulshan. And hey, everyone. Yeah, I've been waiting to be invited. So, yeah, let's start over. Thank you.
Okay, but just for the viewers, he's saying that, but I have to get behind him to get 30 minutes of time. Okay. And he claims that he has free times, but believe me, hardly he has some free times. Okay. So, first question before I ask anything, and this is what I have personally felt when I started my career into Business Central. Do you know that you are a popular name in Business Central community?
To be true, I have heard some rumors around it, but I'm pretty sure it's not true. As in, there are so many people who are doing so great for the community, including you. Right? I learn a lot of things by reading your contents, watching your videos, and the whole idea is to make sure that you give something back to the community, and that's where I guess most of the people are doing very good into it. So yeah, it might be something true today, but 5 years from now, yeah, maybe you didn't remember my name, and there will be new Saurav Dhyani is brought up who will do great stuff better than.
Definitely, there will be new people, but you will always be a veteran in this community, and that because I from the starting of my journey, I know your name. I had the same emphasis, and still today, with the same pace and with the same quality, are doing the same things. It's not easy. So those rumors are not rumors; those are facts. So let me, on behalf of community, clear this out for you. So,
Thank you.
okay. So, thank you for this answer. Now, my next question is, we know about you from LinkedIn and social media and websites, and that's all. But other than that, would you like to elaborate more about your journey, how you started and how you have reached, and you're the director of technology in a company running Business Central. So, what was your journey? What were the key turning points? Just to, learn from your journey so that, I and the viewers should learn something because you are a name in the industry and you might have started somewhere and reached somewhere. So if you can just take out your journey, we'd like to learn a bit.
Okay. So, Alan, I didn't choose the product. I guess I would say the product chose me.
Okay.
It was a college hire, and I guess that was the last time when the company hired from the college.
Okay.
Yes, I was doing my PhD, masters in PG diploma, more or less, from Pune, a college called Amplify Mindware, which falls under Bharati Vidyapeeth. So Tectura thought that year that we'll go to colleges somewhere, and that was, I guess, the last time that they thought it.
Okay.
And they hired me from there in 2010. So I shifted to Delhi in 2010. I'm My family is based in Uttarakhand, so it was a good choice to kind of shift to Delhi and be near to home. So I started in 2010, and I guess when product chooses you, or when some you don't choose something and something chooses you, then it's always the right time. So when I joined, the 2009 NAV 2009 was the big hype at that moment.
Okay. Okay.
And people who know and worked on 2009, the hype was around the whole role tailor client. So that was the first time when Microsoft launched the role tailor client,
Correct.
which is on 2009, which also brought pages and RDLC reports.
Okay.
And so these were trickier words for the veterans back then. So um, I started my journey there in Tectura. And then because reports is still a thing that everybody wants, every customer needs them, right? But because RTC was announced, It was a completely new skill. People had no idea. The veterans had no idea, and I'm pretty sure now I understand it that they were busy with doing the stuff.
Correct.
And as you grow old, you tend to not spend more time into the new part of the technology.
Mhm.
So they downloaded everything, whether it's
Mhm.
pages development, report development towards me. So
Mhm.
because product chose me, he gave me good opportunities to kind of learn new things because nobody was doing it in the company.
Mhm.
So that's where it started in 2010. Then I was there in Tectura till 2015. I had a great 5 years there. Visited a lot of customers, which I think is very important for every consultant or developer per se.
Mhm. Exactly.
Uh, had great people around to kind of mentor me, to use me to mentor me. I guess
Mhm.
that's the other thing that's very important, that people should know how to kind of give you targets so that you kind of work on those. And I even led the support team in Tectura for quite a while. And then in 2015, I switched to Archerpoint India.
Mhm.
We were in discussion for 3 years before that.
Ah,
I was
okay.
still, and being an Indian, I was kind of waiting for my gratuity to mature before I leave. Okay.
Okay.
So 5 years after that, which is 2015, I shifted to Chennai, where Archerpoint India had an office.
Mhm.
I went there with the condition that we'll see how it works. If it works fine, then I'll go back home, work from home for 6 months. If it doesn't work, then I'll figure out a job somewhere, and
Mhm.
no notice period and all.
Mhm.
So if you guys remember, I was there during Chennai floods.
Okay. Okay.
I was stuck in office for a few days in
Mhm.
office, and then back then I guess Archpoint India team was approximately 9 people before me, so I was the tenth
Ah,
guy back then.
okay. Okay.
Uh, with Archpoint, I got some good opportunities to kind of speak in global conferences, leading a team, leading the whole upgrade department for a while. They even created a new role or a designation for me, which was called as technical
Something
futurist.
futurist. Right.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah. So it was a pretty nice title that I liked, but that's where I kind of get into a little bit of team mentoring, making sure that deliveries are happen on time and whatever you call that role, more or less. Um, and now, as you can see, that I'm pretty unstable on my decisions. I was thinking some new challenges in my life. So then I met some of my old colleagues from Tectura, and we they have already started the company, and I want a new challenge at that time. So last year, 2014, somewhere in October and November, I joined them in Edhate Consulting, and then we have some people here with college grad outs and all, and it also gives me opportunity to work with young people right now. So it's pretty fun. I guess you need to keep challenge yourself. Don't try to be uh, kind of stuck into a zone, and then explore what else you can do.
So thank you for your answer. And now I would like to know that what is the one thing that you like most about your job?
Hmm. Now that's seems like a little bit tricky question because there
There's
are
a lot
two
of
things
things.
that, yeah, there are very few things that I would say that I would hate, right?
Uh-huh.
But it always gives you a lot of pleasure when you see the things that you have done, either as a consultant or as a developer, is helping businesses to do their work better.
Mhm.
Now, in the virtual world as of today, you don't see it with the users directly, but when you talk to them, when you interact with them and they tell you that how easy it is now, what they were doing, that's where you feel a little bit worth around, okay, whatever I'm doing is impacting some customers or most of the customers. So I guess that's where it sounds like, it feels like that you have achieved something where
Right,
people,
right, right.
you are helping people to make their life easier.
Right, right. You have done something which has actually added value
Yeah.
and make life easier for them. Correct. It gives you a different kind of satisfaction that what the work you have done, it has helped people. But again, talking about this, I have been into few companies where I've seen a lot of projects failing. And
Mhm.
I would say not because of the product Business Central. Business Central is a good product, but because of the consultants. They are not very expert. Few are very new and they have been put into a client which requires some mature consultant. So in my perception, I've seen more failed project than successful projects. So what do you think? You
Mm.
had the same experience?
So it happens from varies from companies to companies, right? And as in nobody's trying to do a disservice for sure.
Mhm.
But typically, what happens in most of the companies is when you are on a pre-sales job, where I've been a part of most of the pre-sales in the jobs that I've done, you always show your best set of resources that you have. But once you kind of lock the deal with customers, then because you have shown the similar faces to multiple
Mhm.
customers, you can't deploy on all of them in
Correct.
their projects, right? So it kind of forms a team where I guess it's majorly goes through how the team is segregated. It's very important that the newbies work on those projects for sure,
Mhm. Mhm.
but with surely with a mentor who have a
Mhm.
pretty good understanding of the product and knows how these solutions are built,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So
Correct.
I want new people to work on things,
Mhm.
but not directly on it as standalone resources. They
Mhm.
should have a mentor who understands the things and who is able to review most of it what they have done.
Okay. Okay.
So in majority part of my jobs which I've done in the past, and I still do it today in Edhate Consulting, I make sure that every piece that goes out is reviewed by me. And I'm not trying to disbelieve on the person who have done it. I'm just doing it to make sure that the customer does not get a bad solution out of it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes, it takes time. When you hire new people, when you work with them, it surely you'll have to invest something into it before they kind of become a senior developer or a senior consultant into it,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But you'll have to put that time as
Okay.
partners, as you know, as owners of those company, because that's their growth story for the
Mhm.
newbies who are joining. But at the same time, just because they are being trained right now, you can't deliver a sub quality solution to your customers. Make sure to
Definitely.
review it.
Mhm.
It'll be maybe hard to understand, but believe me, I did review the whole upgrade, which is a pretty big project
Mm.
in
Right.
itself, right? It takes a lot of time, and yes, we say it in meetings that okay, if you have a problem, come to me.
Mhm.
But then you also have to think how the person whom you're saying this is taking it.
Right.
Sometimes they might think that, oh, if I go to Gulson, he might shout at me saying, oh, this is wrong, you don't know
Mhm.
this, right?
Mhm.
Or sometimes they'll say, oh yeah, I should go to Gulson
Mhm.
because Gulshan will be able to direct me to the right direction. How should
Mhm.
I do it?
Mhm.
See, I want to leave it to them, but
Mhm.
then it's a gap between what you are saying and how it's being perceived.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
for a certain amount of time, you should review everything which is
Mhm.
possible. And
Mhm.
then once they get a confidence that yes, you are there to kind of teach them,
Right.
explain them how it is done, then you can leave it to them saying, okay, guys, if you have it's even a single line of confusion, come to me. I don't want to waste this time on review,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I believe in you right now. So whatever
Exactly.
you do,
Exactly.
come to me. If it is a problem, we'll sit together and solve it. And never solve a problem alone. Okay. I
Exactly.
used to do it
Exactly.
in the beginning.
Right.
Never ever solve a problem of someone
Mhm.
else alone.
Mhm. Right.
Sit with him or her and
Mhm.
explain them how or what you are thinking while you're solving this.
Correct. 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 Correct.
Don't create that gap. It may take you half an hour more to solve that problem
Exactly.
with them,
Exactly.
but think long term because you are
Exactly.
training that person. So next time he or she does not need to come to you, they'll
Mhm.
be able to kind of fix it by themselves. So it
That's a
happens.
great tip. That's
It
great suggestion.
Yeah.
Many less people are doing it because they find that okay, I have a lot of things to do and it will be easier if I do it and then send it rather than teaching them how to do it and what's wrong and then now you should correct it. So many people have this idea that okay, in this much time I'll be doing it rather than teaching them and transferring the knowledge. Okay, let me do it. So but that is in the long term is not a sustainable solution because again you'll be too occupied and you will need someone whom you can rely on that okay, I'm not there, you do this, I trust you. So just saying trust you is not, it takes time to say this statement because you have to actually trust that person. So
I have a
that's
theory
a great tip.
on this, and people who are watching this later on,
Uh-huh.
remember this. As Gulshan was saying, it'll take me more time, so let me quickly do it and deliver it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. I always whenever you get into a position, and it's a little bit trickier to kind of understand it, whatever you're doing, you're a senior developer, you're a junior consultant, you're a report developer, whatever you do, always figure out your exit plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think about, let's say I'm X in a company, okay, tech lead in a company, my next position is whatever, XYZ.
Right.
Surely I would like to go to XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I upgrade myself from being this to XYZ, I will create a vacuum for my current position. So my exit plan should be that somebody should replace me on what I'm
Right.
doing so that I can actually go to XYZ.
Correct.
So
Correct.
you will have to work on building your replacement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you start thinking that, yes, I need to work with these people. Maybe 5 of them, and then 2 or 3 of them will be someone who will be able to replace me, because you can't go to the next letter in the queue unless you create a replacement for yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Otherwise, believe me, you might be
Mhm.
50 years into the product
Mm.
and you're still doing the same thing because you didn't train your replacement.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
you
No,
should
no,
have a
that's
replacement train.
there are very few people who think this long term and this way. It's very important because all these things will make the difference in your life. And people will say, okay, why the other person, despite of having less tech and knowledge, is growing and I'm still at the same place doing the same thing. But this is about when people say, we used to hear this a lot from many people, many guest speakers in college, that attitude is everything. It will pave the path for your success and mindset. But we always said that, okay, these are just theoretical part, these are motivational speakers, nothing else. But these actually makes difference. Now even I'm realizing that, okay, how a mindset and your attitude defines the way, because everybody is expected to have the technical knowledge. If he's a technical consultant, then this is expected. But how you're going to use it, and the other thing that you have mentioned, because once I get into this position where I have to teach somebody and make a replacement of myself, these things are very important, because I'll be occupied. Definitely I'll have with more responsibility, I'll have more work and everything, but I have to manage it, and how I manage it depends on how I'm thinking and structuring my thoughts and what is my way behind it. But so thanks a lot for this answer. I think it will help a lot of people, and they will take as as a point, and then what is supposed to be done ideally. Okay, now talking about the consultants, I want to know, in this field, and I asked it to other guests as well, there are two profiles basically when we start: technical consultant and functional consultant. Definitely going forward they can evolve into architects and PMs and product owners, but when we start we are into technical consultant and then functional consultant profile. Now let's say if I'm starting, I'm just graduated from college and I am a BTech in IT, and I have inclination towards both. I can be a developer, I can be a functional consultant, and somebody asked you this and you have to guide them that, okay, you should choose this, and they have the liking in both of these profiles. Then how you will suggest, what will be the parameters that choose functional or choose technical, if one?
Okay. Huh. So, as I was saying before we started recording, that I have some weird theories. These are not written somewhere. These are just something that comes from my mind. And this is a very common question that I receive, right?
Mm,
So, I can be completely wrong into this, the first part which I'm explaining.
mm.
So, don't take my word onto it. But if I'm not wrong, at least pre 2009 era or somewhere around till that time, um, these word functional and technical consultant is something that the partner ecosystem have created.
Okay.
You know, because when I joined historically, from around NAV 2009 was releasing when I joined in 2010, right? I see functional consultant were able to do well, surely what they know, but they were always able to kind of create a data port to bring some data out. They were able to create or add fields into the forms. Back then there were forms,
Definitely.
right?
Mm,
They, even the senior ones who were functional, they were able to go into these code units and see the code and say, oh, hey, and write that code to fix it, because they knew that this is where it was wrong, right?
mhm. They knew the debugging part.
Right. They also knew the debugging part, right?
Mm,
Now, surely Business Central have changed for all the from there till here, right? There has been a lot of changes. And it surely have limited how much a functional can do from a technical perspective. And I'm not saying functionals cannot do, but because it's becoming complex day by day, so it's a little bit trickier for functionals to do that stuff.
mhm. Right.
But one thing that hasn't changed from the beginning till now is the understanding for technical people.
Mhm.
You are not a developer who can work on a design document or a design spec. And when I'm saying design spec, I'm not talking from a business center perspective.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking from a journal developer perspective,
Mhm.
right? And that's the reason we don't call developers in business central ecosystem as developers. We call them technical consultant,
Correct.
because if you're trying to be a technical consultant, you need to know the functional process of the product. You can't
Right.
just start adding fields here and there. And
Exactly.
let me tell you a funny story. Somebody came to me from community and said, I have written this code and customer is saying that this is bad code. I said, okay,
Mm.
send it to me
Mm.
and also send me the requirement. Okay.
Mm.
So the requirement was add a field on the item card. Make sure that that field is available on the sales line when the sales order is created for that item. And then make sure it's also available in the ledger when sales order get posted.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not taking his or her word
Mm.
into it
Mm.
because
Mm.
he or she was very new.
Mhm.
What he did, he went into the code and said, I would subscribe to the event of on before insert of item ledger entry,
Mhm.
and I'll
Mhm.
pass my value from item,
Mm.
which from a development perspective, it's right.
Okay.
Whenever item ledger entry is created, I'll
Mm.
get the value of that field from item
Mm.
and add it into item ledger entry.
Mm. Mm.
So it was possible,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
But when you know Business Central and when you know how these processes work, then you know you can't do that.
Mhm.
So just because you are tagged as technical consultant, remember the
Okay.
word emphasizing is consultant,
Mhm.
not the technical part of it.
Mhm.
You'll have to know or have the understanding of overall business processes before you
Mhm.
start modifying it. Right?
Okay.
It's a complete flow.
Mhm.
Now, when we talk about freshers, here is where I guess I would suggest, if you're leaning toward becoming a functional consultant, make sure that you have certain traits.
Mhm.
You should love to talk to your customers and
Mhm.
forget about customer. You should be someone who's outspoken, who goes, loves to talk to new people, interact with them,
Mm.
um, and have that kind of blend of mind who can translate a business or a customer requirement into something what product have and how it
Mhm.
need to happen. Now, I surely have learned it for all these years, but I can say it very bluntly that when I joined, I hated this.
Mhm.
I'm not someone who will go to customer, ask them what their requirement is, and will be
Mm.
able to put it into a piece of paper. I
Mm.
surely have learned it in these 15 years for sure. But this is, if you're trying to be a functional consultant, make sure that you like to talk to people because that's important.
Mhm.
You'll find some people who don't like, and they are typically developers. No
So
offense.
you mean
Devel-
to say introverts cannot be
yeah,
functional
yeah,
consultant?
because you need to kind of have that, uh, you know, uh, uh, experience where you can talk to people. You should
They
see
should
your experience.
naturally come to
Yeah,
I think these people so that it'll be comfortable. If they have to struggle and if they are a bit shy, they'll not be speaking in meetings a lot,
yeah,
and they'll be like, okay, whatever comes, I'll do my work. So that will not work for a functional consultant. That might work for a technical consultant if they are starting their career, but not for architects and
yeah,
functional consultants.
right.
Hmm.
Plus, the you need to have that bend of mind where you can think about the product as a product. Like whenever I explain my team about the product, I take the examples that they understand.
Hmm.
Okay, let's say think about Amazon, or think about some other ERP solution that they are using, and we take this rough example that let's assume Amazon is using Business Center, and then think about it when you create an account in Amazon, what actually happens behind the scene. A
Hmm.
customer card is created for you. You get a default location based on your pin code that you enter. Then you can have multiple ship to address. So you need to have that understanding of the business so that you can, kind of understand how Business Central is built.
Hmm.
The processes, the business processes. One thing that is for sure that business processes are not going to change. Whatever Microsoft or any other ERP changes,
Correct.
the way sales order gets posted today
Correct. Correct.
will
Correct.
be done in 20 years or 30 years also after
Right.
30 years
Right.
only,
Right.
right?
Right.
But that bend takes time for a developer like me. It comes with an experience.
Hmm.
You spend time into the product, you understand, you talk to customers. But if you're leaning toward functional, make sure you like to talk to people, you understand the product, And I cannot say it for confidence, but you should understand the financial impact of transactions.
Mhm.
I'm so bad at it, believe me.
Mhm. Mhm.
The only functional thing that I would say that I'm zero at, and people have tried training me, is how general ledger work. Okay.
Okay.
The one thing that I know, that at the end of the day, the balance should be zero. Right? But yeah, and if you're leaning toward technical, there are certain things. Surely a bend of mind of problem solving and all those things for sure. But remember, and this is also true for functionals, it's a pretty fast changing world right now. Things are changing every month in business and
Right,
ecosystem.
right, right.
So you can't just say, okay, I'm a consultant, I'll learn whatever some people tell me. Because the product is evolving, there's a lot of scope for technical and also for functional. But technical have a more scope because the way Microsoft is looking at the product, it's getting connected to the other system. So there are new doors that are opening for Business Central right now. So make sure that you have those skill set where you can think of solving a problem, but also have a edge toward learning new things, because that becomes very important. You can't just
Mhm.
and with AI and other things that I'm seeing right now, and no offense to anyone who's posting on social media, great, keep doing it, very good work, I also do it, so I'm also a culprit. But don't just read it at the top level and ask send this article or send this whatever you have learned to AI and get drafted a good message.
Mhm.
No offense in posting it, but the problem is that if it is not well thought out, if you
Mhm.
haven't went deep into it,
Correct.
AI can mislead that article that you're trying to build with the AI,
Definitely, definitely.
right? And as much as I like to correct those articles on LinkedIn, which I do once in a while, not every time,
Mhm.
I hate because it looks like that I'm deep trying to defend someone.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
Mhm.
whatever you're posting, keep posting. I like the community where
Mhm.
people interact, people help each other.
Mhm.
But if it is your thought, great. Don't
Mhm.
go ahead and use AI to generate posts for you.
Correct.
Spend time into it, dig a little bit deep, and for technicals, make sure that you understand the basics.
Mhm. Mhm.
I majority of time that I've spent in my career is surely on the basics of the product, because
Mhm.
it's very important. Whatever Microsoft does in the product, which is lot that I'm thinking of that Microsoft will do,
Mhm.
but it'll all take down to how much basics you know.
Mhm. Exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah, sorry if it was a long answer, but
No, no, no.
it's very
It was a
common.
perfect answer, and it is not very easy to answer this. It's a not. It's a no. It's not a yes or no answer. So you know the idea that you have given definitely it will help that why you should choose functional, the traits that you should look for. It will help them decide. And if you're choosing technical, what are the things you should be good at to start with, and it will help them definitely. Okay, okay, that's a great answer. And recently I was speaking to one of my friends, and he asked me that who is the next guest, and I said it's Saurav Dhyani, and he said, "Okay, wow." So I have one question. He's one of the best technical consultant now. He's an architect that I've worked with personally on
Okay.
multiple projects in one of the companies, and he's a very good friend of mine. And he said, and he was a bit worried. He is not just asking this question to ask this. He was a bit worried that now I am thinking. He was saying, speaking out loud, that my work is going to be less and less significant because now there is an AI, and all the AIs can write all kind of codes, even AL codes. We have Chat GPT, we have Grok, so we have Gemini, and all of these can write, and they have tested it, the AL codes very well. So even now it is very easy, and the work for the technicals has also become easy. We have, even in Git. So everything is making what he was saying, the work of a developer less relevance, because most of the things now can be done through AI. Even if a
Mhm.
functional wants, they can learn very easily. Just they have to download the AL and then learn a few things about the structure and the environment, and then they can write the codes. And he was saying even upgrade has become very easier for us. So you should ask, he was saying that you should ask that, is it so? Because this is the idea that I am getting right now. But
Mhm.
I'm a bit worried whether I should be staying in this, or I should learn something else in addition to Business Central to be relevant in the market. So I think you are the right person to answer this.
No, I may not be, but let me give it a try.
Mhm.
So, okay, Gulshan's friend, I would love to talk to you someday about it. I have been talking to people for 2, 3 hours. I haven't recorded much yet. Right? And this is an Indian context. So if you're not from India, you might not understand this joke.
Mm.
But this is the same fear that people had when our earlier Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi tried to bring computers in India.
Yes.
Right? Oh, this will ruin all the factories. Everybody will be left, and machines will be doing everything. Humans are not required. And it always happens whenever there is a technological shift. There is a pressure that seems exists with the existing folks and existing technologies.
Mm.
Now, can I do something else? Go ahead. What you'll do where AI is not available.
Mhm.
As in, if he is a technical consultant,
Mhm.
and he has been in for so many years into the product, it's surely hard to do something else, man.
Right. And everything you try, we have AI.
If you even leave Business Central and try to do something else, still there will be some spaces of AI, right? Unless you are trying to open a business, which is okay, there's no problems around it. But let's understand what happened when the whole Rajiv Gandhi episode happened with the computers. Even the political parties rejected that, right? Uh, the 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 people who are working on factories surely rejected it. But the people who succeeded, even after getting into the computers in the country, were those who learned how to use computers.
Mm.
The rule remains
Right.
the same. If you know how to use AI to do whatever you are
Will be
doing,
relevant.
you will be relevant, right? Will it reduce how much you have to do? Yes, but don't look it from, oh, AI will do it. Look it from a prism that now currently I'm doing 5 things. I'll be able to do 20 things
Mhm.
with the same
Correct.
set of time.
Correct. Right.
Right?
Right.
Um, I hate when people say it'll replace humans. Believe me, I haven't seen a content where I did not had to manually proof it out. Either it's a code, either it's an article, either it's a manuscript that I wanted. You need a human to review it. You can't just say that, oh, yeah, I have written it, let's deploy it.
Correct. Even the AI generated content comes with this disclaimer that this is AI generated and a review should be done. So everywhere right now, there's no AI which takes it for granted, right?
Yeah. Use AI to generate code, but you cannot deploy that code just for the sake because it's compiling.
Correct.
You will
Correct.
have to have a human to review it. It does a pretty good job. Let me be very fair. It even thinks better than what I would think after spending a lot of time into the product, saying, "Oh, I didn't thought about this new field that should have been added."
Mm.
Makes sense, AI, because you are thinking a little bit louder to it.
Right.
I guess surely start working with AI. Plus, I would love to understand what he's doing with the upgrades part of AI, because I'm actually internally we are building a toolkit for AI to automate our upgrades. Surprisingly, it's built where it is doing approximately 40% automatic. Then we surely sit and review it. But my whole idea is to build that toolkit so that it does majority of it, approximately 90%.
Correct.
Right? And at the end of the day, the benefit get transfers to our customers
Mhm.
because we are taking less time. We're doing it fast. And then because we are relying on automation, and I love automation. It's you can't just say that I'm a developer and I hate how washing machine washes clothes.
Correct.
I'll wash it by my hand.
Right.
There's an automation that's in built in, and you need to start relying on those automations and then build new automations to do things.
Mhm.
So spend some time. I think there are 3, 4 aspects of AI for a business and ecosystem. Maybe if you would love to talk to me, I would be happy to kind of engage and talk in detail about AI.
Mhm. Okay.
So
No, I think
don't
it's
leave
right.
it. Yeah.
So the point is what I can conclude from what you have said, that the human will always be in the loop. You cannot take the content generated, though the content will be very good, sometimes even good than what you could think of, but you cannot take the risk of removing the human from that loop. You have to review
Yeah.
it before you can do anything. So I think we can take it as somebody who is very smart and who can do a lot of tasks and is helping us, but at the end I am the manager, I am the architect, I have to take that, review it and deploy it. So he's making my task easier, that's it. But I cannot be replaced from the loop, because if I am being removed, then maybe 8 tasks will work, but the 2 tasks will, leave a hole in the system which will be too bad, this is because you have left the human in the loop. So again, even in Microsoft we see agents now, but in all the agents and the flows you will see that okay, human is always in the loop. There's a reviewer and he has to review the content generated, that I am generated this sales code you want to send, okay, review it, then send. So I think this flow will always be there. There are a few automations that we can do. Definitely, we have N8 and all those things, but not something which is too risky and which is in the context of client applications. If you want to generate a text and post on social media, definitely you can do it, and you don't want a human in the loop. That's fine, but not when it is inside a process which is going to impact the client.
Right.
So I think yes, I have got the answer, and I think we
AI
should be
is
quite convinced with it.
AI is your chotu, guys. And this is again an Indian context, right? AI is your chotu. You tell him to do something, he'll do it for you, but
Correct.
you have to check what he have done.
Right. And you have to give the right prompt, exactly what you need. And because, based on the tokens, he will remain the context, but not always. He might hallucinate. So you have to be very instructive that you have to go from this to this and do this to this and take out this. Don't assume that they will do something. So it's about
Yeah,
their
relate
where
to
it
your chotu.
prompted you.
And if you are,
Yeah.
if you are a millennial, think about you being chotu of your parents, right? Get things done.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I treat it like a chotu, and you should treat it like a chotu. He'll get things done.
Okay, great, perfect. Okay, now I'm thinking a bit on the product side because we have talked a lot about what AI can do and about the consultant's technical functional profile. Now, if we talk about the product business central, when I started learning this product, because earlier I was into a different product, then I decided to go into a standard product and I started exploring all the options, SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, and I got into a call from a company for Microsoft, and that's why I joined it. Because earlier I was working into a product, but it was not very standard. So I had this idea that okay, it is not going to take me long with this product. Now at that point, I joined it and I learned it and I'm working on it. But when I joined, there were a few seniors in that company, and they were speaking always. There was always this discussion that okay, we should switch from Business Central to some other product. And I was quite new, so I was just asking that why? Because I left the product and I joined this, thinking that it is going to take me, in my career ahead. And they are speaking. They are senior in this, working 10, 15 years, and they are speaking that okay, we should switch to SAP, we should switch to NetSuite, we should switch to Oracle Fusion. And I have seen that discussion 6 years back, and still I see these kind of discussions even in IBM when I was speaking to few people, my colleagues, and this always happens. So, what's your take? If I'm working into Business Central, have you seen any such thing that okay, now we should switch to something else because the market is not good in Business Central? SAP will always flourish, something like that. Do you see a clear leader in the market for SMB section?
Let's go a little bit. Let's rewind a little bit. Okay, when you started, I think what was that year?
I started into this in 2018.
2018. Okay. And I was laughing when you were saying this because this the same thing happened to me when I joined in 2010. Yeah, 2010. That
Hmm.
time was NAV 2009 was recently launched,
Hmm. So
and it
2018
was
into Business Central, but I started working from
yeah,
2015.
yeah. I'm saying about the business center
Hmm.
from NAV or business center this way. So 2018, right?
Hmm.
But I'm saying in 2010, people, as in your case, they were talking among each other, right? In 2010, they were telling me to leave it and
Okay.
join either Exapta or something else. That time
Okay.
Exapta, now FNO, right? So I think these rumors, these talks will never go away. But let's talk facts. Okay,
Hmm.
if you have been into anything, whatever you're doing, whatever it is, it can be Navigen, Business Central, Exapta, FNO, whatever. Not even ERP, something else. You can't leave it at least after 5 years. You get a year or two to decide what
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
for fresher, it's very important that
Hmm.
take that time to think: is it what you want to do?
Hmm.
Right? Is it the thing that you want to do? If not, then I think you have 1 or 2 years when you can make a switch. After that, you can just talk about it. It's a thing that uh, I guess frustrated. When you get frustrated, you talk about it with your friends.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
Hmm.
Uh, Business Central from an SMB section is at the right place where Microsoft wanted it to be.
Okay.
I didn't expected it to go there. When
Okay.
I was thinking about it back when cloud was being introduced, and I guess you will have to look at the timeline, but
Mm.
around similar time, Satya Nadella became the CEO
Right.
for Microsoft, right? There were rumors that Navision will be dropped.
Mm.
FNO is going to be the first candidate for cloud, which makes complete sense at that time.
Mhm. Mhm.
Exapta becomes the cloud offering from Microsoft.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, let's see how where business, where things life takes you, because you need to understand it. Again, uh, hopefully Indians will understand it. But I always relate it to when it happens to other ecosystem. Think about Nokia, a company
Mm.
that people trusted. Forget about employees and all. The whole country at one point of time, when you go out to buy a phone, it was Nokia always,
Nokia always right.
right? I heard the speech when Nokia decided that they don't want to continue
Right.
with the
Right.
product,
Right.
right? Back then, with this, he said we missed the bus, which was the
Exactly.
Android bus and all, right? Which makes
Mhm.
complete sense.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's another context for some other day discussion.
Mhm.
But to relate to this, when Nokia can fire thousands of people back then, right? I'm pretty sure they all are doing well somewhere else, doing something else. So we all will figure it out if something happens. Let's put it this way. So
Mhm.
remove that confusion in your mind that, oh, what happens if Business Central is no longer tomorrow, which not going to happen. But if this satisfies you, look at a bigger company which failed and had to fire people. People are not, you know, not employed as of today. Everybody is working, doing something, making their livelihood. So nothing will happen to you if something like this happens. But then when you look at the product future, I think it was the right decision for Microsoft back then.
Mhm. Mhm.
NAV was the safest bet to go to Business Central, to the cloud offering, because it was that kid who was not paying attention to for so
Mhm.
many years.
Mhm. Mhm.
Back then, it used to take a lot of time to bring new features into the product. Release cycle was so slow, right? We were not seeing much enhancement into the product, so it was a discarded kid more or less at that moment.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the amount of risk, because you don't calculate risk based on the product size, you calculate risk based on how much customer base you have
Mhm.
and how complex the product is.
Okay.
Now, if let's invert theory, just assuming if Microsoft would have chosen FNO to go to cloud, and surely Business Central have failed when it went to
Mhm.
cloud.
Mhm.
Because when you transition from a technology to other, there surely are failures.
Mhm.
The impact of failure, because it was not the strongest kid at that moment, was less with Business Central. If it was FNO, it would have impact so many bigger
Mhm.
customers,
Mhm. Right.
and bigger from the perspective of how Microsoft targets the product, right? So it was a best bet. People who
Mhm.
were in Navision also got advantage of this kind of disgraced kid, more or less, at that moment.
Mhm.
And at this point, I think how quickly you can spin up a business environment, I don't think you can do it in India product, right? Don't even compare SAP. SAP
Mhm.
is a big whale. It'll
Right.
take you. If I had a friend in, I have a friend in Mexico who works on SAP, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
When I talk to him for an implementation, he says it takes 6 years, in sometime 4 years, 3 years. And I was like, what
Mhm.
years?
Mhm.
We talk in months, and if its
Mhm.
customer is super aggressive, we can do it in 2-3 months
Mhm.
maximum. I'm saying,
Mhm.
with all their customs and all.
Mhm.
So spinning up for new businesses is something which Business Central is capable of, and
Mhm.
Microsoft is already focusing it into it to making new onboarding customers easier.
Mhm.
Right? I don't think any other comparable is left right now. There was GP who was not now BC, right? So I don't see any other player in this space. If I'm wrong, let me know. I
I
haven't.
think NetSuite is, I think, doing good, and it's in the same section SMB.
Yeah, I haven't explored that much.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I surely have looked from SAP perspective and FNO perspective. So
Mhm.
from an SMB space, I guess Business Central is doing pretty good. I'll not be surprised if in few years Microsoft says that you can just go into a cloud, click a button, pay a fees, and deploy it yourself.
Okay.
Because they are, if you look at the release cycle, every release cycle Microsoft is working on onboarding. Because the
Right.
point of
Right. Right.
doing working on onboarding is to make it so simple that
Mhm.
to begin with, you don't even need help of a partner, which makes sense. It should be so simple.
Okay. Right. 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 So Business Central is on the right path, and as a consultant or as a person working in Business Central, we should not be worried because the product is going on the right path. It is evolving day by day, and it is adding all the features. AI, it is keeping pace with everything that is needed, right? So
Yeah,
for all
so
the Business Central consultants, we are on the same paths,
yeah,
same
because
path. So we're not supposed to worry.
the beauty is because now it's on cloud. So it makes it easier for Microsoft to port functionality from similar cloud product into Business Central because
Exactly.
now it's part of the same suite, right?
Mm,
So you don't have, yeah, it was delayed on in new features in the past, but at the pace where Microsoft is doing it, I don't think it'll take a longer time to kind of be into that space where all the features that other products have, Business Central
mm,
gets it.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now speaking about the product, one last question related to product, and it is depends from person to person. Few things that you love about this product, and few things that you still see the area for improvement. So any point that you want to highlight there?
Okay, so few things that I love about the product. I guess it's the way at this moment how Microsoft listens to the ecosystem. As in from the easiness of doing things, which was there in NAV. uh,
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, because we are coming from legacy, for us it's a little bit hard now with events and all. But at the same time, how easy it is to request an event to Microsoft, or I'm pretty sure with other ISVs, it's still so easy that you can customize it or tweak it based on your customer need.
Mm-hmm.
You don't you know you don't have to have a huge big machine on your system when you're building customs for your extension customers. You can just do it with the basic laptop. So it's easy to configure. You have different options available. You can have a cloud offering, you can have an on-prem offering. If you're a developer, you can do all that with Dockers also. So it makes it
Mm-hmm.
super easier to do it. And then how Microsoft makes sure that you have some demo data, which helps the newer
Mm-hmm.
consultant and developers
Definitely.
to understand those product and features, right?
Right.
And the backbone that I think is community. There are very few
Okay.
people,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not naming anyone, which makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
who will be rude to you. But in
Mm-hmm.
general, the community is super, super strong. The only thing that I don't love about the community right now, and this is recent, sorry guys, if you're listening it and you're young and you're doing this, don't post your question as it is with the error message into community.
Mm-hmm.
The community is there to help you, makes complete
Correct.
sense, right?
Correct.
But until unless you are able to format your question into words, saying this is what I'm trying to do and this is where it is erroring out, that makes sense. I have seen people,
Right.
and I stopped replying on some communities for that matter,
Exactly. Exactly.
because people send you code and say fix it. Okay, guys, we have our own jobs, we have our own businesses, but try to frame those problems into question statement. And if you do that,
Exactly.
you will learn how to convert a issue into a ticket, more or less, and then you will be able to understand the whole error message rather than solving that problem. People
Right.
are doing
Right.
it because there is a point system and all, but just for the community part, don't post questions with
Understood.
full-fledged
Understood.
objects, right?
Right. And it's very well. I recently read that quote that a problem well stated is half solved. So it's very
Yeah.
important that we state our problem in a very clear manner because once you do it, half of the solution you have got. But people don't do it. They just take it. And many times, even when I have some WhatsApp groups and I see many questions and I have to reply that see, people are there to help you, but respect their time. If you can just Google it. If there's some particular scenario in case which you're not able to find it, then come to these communities and put it. Because many now people take it for granted and put it. So I understand, and I've seen with many of the new people, but it is the truth. And yes, you're right about the community, about the point system. I saw for one questions, multiple people's answering as suggested answers. I left that part. And I'm saying that I'm okay if I lose my MVP because I'm not going to just do it for the sake of the points. Everybody's copying the same answer, replying, say, okay, fine. I'll do something with which I can add value.
Yeah,
Many a times I
the
see, I
same
saw
thing
this
have
and then I
the same thing have also discouraged me going into the company.
correct exactly.
Because if somebody have answered it, great. You like the same answer, hit the like button and come out of
Correct.
it.
That's it.
Right?
But no, they will be replying just in a passive voice. If it is an active voice, there will be a separate answer. And this is what I see. No, no, no. This is what I'm not supposed to do just because I need to, be in the top three. No, no, no. This
Yeah. But remember,
doesn't
as you
align.
grow, as you grow, you at the max you can dedicate half an hour to 45 minutes to answer helping people in the community.
Right.
But you'll only be able to dedicate that time if the question makes sense. Because
Exactly.
if it's a code, I'm not going to solve it there for you. Or no, but I'm saying even if you're doing it, don't do it.
Mhm.
You're not you are actually doing a disservice to the person who is asking question because he's not going to learn or she's not going to learn out of it.
Right. Right.
So if you're doing it, leave it. Right.
Right. Right.
Not leave the community, but leave answering those kind of question when you see a whole object into it.
Correct.
Oh,
Correct.
where we were? We were saying about the good and the bad thing about the product, right?
Mhm.
So we talk about the good part.
Good part and bad. You said the community.
Oh, that's
Few
just for the
areas.
community. But if somebody from Microsoft is listening, I'm waiting, guys. Please remove the object IDs. It's lot of pain. I know you are on that path. I know you're working toward it. I know it's very hard to remove it, but please do that. It's something that so much pain.
Mhm.
So, as in, I don't know how many people know it, but in the NAV world, IDs or object IDs and the field IDs were kind of acted as a primary key of those tables. So if you
Okay.
change the ID, it
Mhm.
means you are making a destructive change and you'll have to do this.
Mhm. Mhm.
The first time I guess I saw it where Microsoft said, okay, we are changing the primary key. They didn't said it loud and clear, but you can
Mhm.
make sense out of it by looking at the code. They are saying that you can change the numbers. We don't care
Mhm.
on your objects. It's not a destructive change, but you cannot change the name of the field or the table, which makes complete
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm.
Step one
Right.
toward that
Right.
direction,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
So,
Correct.
and they are sequentially doing it throughout the application.
Mhm.
But we need to get to a point where object doesn't become a thing. Object IDs doesn't become a thing. I know it makes sense with the on-prem because you have to buy the license packs and other
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure there are engineers at Microsoft who can find out a creative way of handling it. But guys, one thing, make sure to remove those.
Mhm.
Second, if you can, and I don't know how much far we are from the other product in this ecosystem, and I'm saying it on behalf of the customers that I work with,
Mhm.
reduce the cycle of updates.
Mhm.
Twice a year, it's something which takes a lot of time for customers. And for
Mhm.
us, we'll be able to deal with it, right? Sooner or later.
Mhm.
But people have to test
Mhm.
every 6 months.
Right.
We have introduced automated testing, but then it's a learning curve. People
Right.
still rely on manual testing, which makes sense. But doing it every 6 months, it's a lot of pain. I guess it can be extended. I guess we can
Right.
start with once in a year, right?
Mhm.
Have people time to breathe with that version.
Right. 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 Once a year is good, I guess. It's
Right.
not bad. So
Because
what the
I'm
bad thing
upgrading a
with.
customer today, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And they will have to upgrade in few months because the version 27 will be out. They they would not be able to digest on 26th till then.
Mhm.
Well, they move to 27. So it's
Mhm.
so fast that I think if you can, I don't know behind the
Mhm.
scene what's happening, how far we are from the timeline that you're thinking about it.
Mhm. Mhm.
But if you can reduce it to once a year update, I guess everybody would be happy with that. At least the customers.
Mhm.
If you ask customers on prem, they'll say 5 years, but I'm not going there.
Mhm.
Okay, let's start with once a year. Have a big, massive release
Mhm.
where people get new features and dedicate some time into it.
Right. 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 Perfect. That sounds good. Okay, we've spoken a lot about the professional side, about the product, about consultants, technical, functional, everything. Now, a few things to conclude this with,
Mhm.
and here I'll see what you like, and that will be different from Business Central and everything.
Yeah.
So, what do you do when you're not working?
Nice question. Okay, so what I do when I'm not working. So I make sure that I have a physical activity either every day, possibly,
Yeah,
if possible,
very
right?
important. Correct.
Um, I hate to go to gyms. So I'll
Okay.
prefer or pick a game. Okay, it can be
Okay.
anything.
Here,
Can be
that's
badminton
fine.
game.
Yeah.
It can be anything. So I would love to have some kind of activity at least in the mornings. I'm not able to do it right now because it's raining here in
Mhm.
Bangalore. But I like to have one physical activity in the morning, games or something. I hate to run. for sure.
Okay.
I should walk with someone and talk. Right? That makes sense. But morning joggings and all, that's something that I cannot do. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
The other thing which I'm not doing, and surely I have a daughter, 6-year-old. So
Mhm.
we surely play around, right? If
Okay.
she have to go to park and other things, she's learning tennis. So I also get chance to kind of play some shots and all. Otherwise, me and my wife will enjoy a cup of tea outside in a patio or balcony, right? Then I like to grow stuff, so I have some plants and all.
Oh.
Nothing major, guys. Not a big field or something.
Uh-huh.
But then my wife likes some flowers, so she had some flowers, and then I'm not a flower person. I don't want to uh, waste the mud into flowers and all. I would prefer to grow something that I can get. Okay. So yeah, those are majorly things that I'll do. Other than if I'm not on a screen, more or less, that includes my work.
Okay, so we know that you create a lot of content for everybody in the community. Let it be a blog, a video content, and audio content. But how about consuming the content? How much content do you consume, and what kind of content?
Okay, I should not say, but I watch everything. Okay, let's put it this way. You can think of any, even a worse movie. If you know something that I would not have watched, put it into the comments later on YouTube. Okay, if I haven't watched, I'll thank you and I'll watch it.
Perfect, perfect.
So I watch everything on Amazon, Netflix, Z5, Sony Live, Geo Hotstar, now Geo Hotstar, right?
Right.
Then I consume majorly all the debates from India and US, wherever I can see. I consume all comedy shows and all from everyone who does it. Um, if you try to segregate it, because it doesn't take full attention if I'm watching something in Hindi, right? So I'm majorly into it. But if it is non-Hindi, then I prefer it to watch with my wife so that we pay attention to it. But everything else I've consumed. So if you can think of anything that I haven't seen, put it in the comments. I'll love to see that.
Perfect, perfect. Anything that you have watched recently, or that is your all-time favorite that you can suggest, the audience to watch?
I'm pretty sure everybody have watched what I like, because everybody. So if you haven't, I don't know. There's a movie called Kagas.
Okay. Yes, it does.
Right? It's a pretty nice movie which explains you how much uh, documents are important in your life. And then,
Pankaj Tripathi movie.
yeah, Pankaj Tripathi.
Yeah, is the
Right?
main actor. Yeah, right.
And this
Correct.
have a completely Indian context, but do watch it if you haven't seen it.
Inspired from real events, I guess.
Right. It's a really
Right.
right story, right? I'm pretty sure everybody have seen Aspirants. Now, there are some things that relate.
Yeah,
right?
it's very good. No, but I, what we think many people have not seen it. When I speak to my colleagues, I realize that TVF content. I always speak high of the TVF content, and Spirits was one of that, where you can get every kind of emotion. If you want to be ambitious, if you're emotional, everything is there. It will give you many lessons from it. So I think these are great suggestions, and we think that everybody has watched it, but trust me, many people have no idea about all those. Even Kagas, that was not a movie which was very hyped.
Yeah.
So it came and it then gone. But yes, I watched it and I loved it. There's a lot of these underrated movies. So yes, to watch Kagas is one of my favorites as well, and Aspirants. Correct. Any more suggestions? Pictures.
If you haven't seen, as you're talking about.
Yes, yeah, correct. It was
Watch it.
one of the best series that I loved, and I started watching TVF, everything from TVF after I watched that. So
Yeah,
it's great.
because and there is a lot of content. We can surely I'll join the comment section later on and we'll talk about it. But recently, my wife recommended me, and if you are into spirituality, then do watch it. Because there is always I always find it very hard to kind of what helps me to understand things. So there is something on Geo Hotstar, which is Devo Ke Dev Mahadev. Now, if you are into spirituality and would like to understand the whole ecosystem around how Lord Shiva and other gods have worked around it, do watch it. It's a pretty long show. I'm still watching it. I haven't seen it, but I'm learning with every episode. It have a lot of. It was aired on TV earlier. I was, I recently shifted toward this phase of my life, and I was a little bit curious. So my wife recommended me to watch this, and it gives me a lot of context into it. Now, With these kind of shows, the problem is that you need to get to the right show, and that's why I'm naming it.
Right, right,
Because
right.
there are some which give you completely false information.
Mhm.
The whole context you will watch into this. And then I was talking to a friend who works in Bangalore, and he was also referring me this. So I said, okay, that makes
Okay, okay.
two of you now, and I'm already watching it.
Mhm.
So I'll leave audience with a question. Do you know why
Mhm.
Lord Brahma have only one temple in the world?
Okay.
And what was
Because
the fuss?
answers. Mhm.
Yeah, what was the fuss between Lord Shiva and Brahma's son? And why all that happened? So
Mhm.
I like to get these answers, and I guess that show, and that's one show that I cannot watch while I'm working. I have to pay attention to it because it has a
Right,
lot of
right.
context on every statement or not. And if you are into it, then do watch it. I'm currently watching it. It's a
Mhm.
pretty long show, but very important for
That's
me
great.
at this
That's
point.
great.
Yeah.
And that's why I always keep this question because people think that this is a very, question on the lighter side to end the session with. But no, this is not the case because there are a lot of things, lot of videos, lot of noise for every subject.
Mhm.
But here, where you need clarity, if there is a lot of things going for every subject, you need to pick those where the actual truth is spoken. Because if you go into the wrong channels, the wrong content, you will get a wrong idea and you will just stay with
Yeah.
this. But this is where we have to find out and take suggestions from people who have seen it. Because you took it from your wife, she suggested it, and now you're suggesting to the audience and me. Definitely, now I'll trust this information. I'll watch this because if I have to do it, I'll have to do my research. I'll watch it. I'll think, no, it is not good. I'll then switch to something else. But this is very important because we are learning from everything consciously or subconsciously. And this is where we have to be more aware that whatever we are consuming, it is building us. And
Yeah.
this is what we will be as a result after 5 years. We might not be much aware about it, but
Mhm.
again, we have to be more intentional and aware, that's it, of whatever
Right.
we are consuming. And what you have suggested, definitely now I'm going to start because I'm not a lot into mythology, but I recently started trusting it because I say, okay, if I don't have the answers, why don't I'll be optimistic?
Mhm.
Why don't I consider that it can happen? So
Right.
I have taken this approach and I've started, and considering all those things. I'm not being superstitious, but I'm being open to everything and I'm being,
And
there's nothing
question
wrong
everything.
about being religious. Yeah, exactly.
Question everything.
So
That's okay.
that's great. That's great. And thanks a lot for this answer. And just one last question to conclude with.
Arey, I
What,
forgot about the
please?
one series, guys.
Yeah, yeah, please, please, please.
So we were talking before the recording and all.
Mhm.
So if you haven't watched Suits, there is a series,
Ah,
Suits. You should watch
this
it. It's about the lawyers and
one
all,
of my
right?
favorites. Correct, correct, correct.
And then I'm pretty sure most of the people have seen Breaking Bad. We were talking about it before the interview.
Again, right.
But do watch Better Call Saul. So it's a
Uh-huh.
merge where these two series are merged together,
Mhm, mhm,
which is very important. And then we were
mhm,
talking about the Big Bang Theory, which you should watch. And then
mhm.
there is a pretext to Big Bang Theory, which is Sidney Seltem. I forgot the name, I guess.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Right, right, right.
Do watch it. It tells you how Big Bang Theory kind of makes sense into it, right?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So yeah, that's again. Anything else coming to my mind at this moment? I don't think. Yeah, these are majorly, but we can surely talk into comments about it.
Great, 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 great. No, no, that's perfect advice. And I've watched few of this, and I'm going to watch few after your suggestion, especially that Mahadev. So Devadev Mahadev. Okay, now to conclude, because guys, I have taken a lot of time from this guy who has few important works to do because now is in a great position doing bigger things. So I should respect the time, though I have taken more time than what I requested. So one last question to conclude with, and that is not a question, but just I want to know one piece of advice that you'd like everybody to follow to progress correctly in all the aspects of their life, whether it is personal, professional, everywhere.
Huh. Interesting. I seriously will have to think about it. But
No
in
problem.
summary, yeah, in summary, remember certain things. One is very simple, that there was a word before you, there will be a word after you. Don't give super importance to yourself like this guy is giving it to me right now. That my time was important, right? Yes, you are important. But when you start thinking that you are important, y- it start hitting your ego that, oh, everybody's wasting my time. But believe me,
Mm.
the world will work as it is the day I leave or somebody else leave. We are not that important to this world. So don't prioritize everything, especially your work thing. If you have something in your home which makes sense, prioritize that for sure. Right? Yes, work is important, and I take my work religiously, but your family comes first for sure, right?
Definitely.
And then when you are in work, and you're dealing with newbies, which everybody should be dealing with. If they are not, they should hire them, right? Work with them, because they will drive the future of the product. You and me are not. We are going to go away, or maybe be the part of this world, but we are not going to work throughout our life. Let's put it this way. So as much as I like what I do, I also owe a responsibility to whatever you do, to make sure, as I said earlier, to make sure that you have a replacement available for yourself, even in life. Like you work on your kids,
Hmm.
work toward whatever you work on so that you have a replacement available. Never create a void, either in your personal life or in professional life. Prioritize your health, which is so important,
Right.
which is debatable because people have different opinion, and I respect everybody's opinion. Everybody have their own way how they live and how they treat. Some people say, oh, 9 hours sleep is important. Some people say this is important, that is important. I'm not getting into that debate, but prioritize whatever makes sense to you. Everybody has their own priority, but you are not that important. Neither I am. Okay, I'm not
Mhm.
trying to blame
No,
anyone,
no, no, no.
but nobody is important that you, and this helps you to keep yourself grounded,
Right,
because
right, right.
until unless you start overthinking about yourself or hyping about yourself, it's okay. And if that makes sense, do read a book, which is Tribal Leadership. So there is a
Okay.
book called Tribal Leadership, which talks you around that there are different parts of, and it talks about work, but eventually it applies to your life.
Mhm.
That there are five tribes, kind of tribes, right? And then there are different levels of tribe, not from a hierarchical level or all, but how people think alike.
Okay.
So it gives you a context of that you can only talk to people who are either a higher tribe than you or a lower tribe than you. You can't go two level below, or you can't go two level up together,
Okay.
because that'll be a complete shift. So
Mhm.
if you are, let's say, just to pick a number, if you are at level 3 in the tribe matrix, you can go to 4, or
Mhm.
you can engage with people in 4, or you can engage with people in 2. You can't go 5 directly,
Okay. Okay.
right? And then if you're working on a team and you are frustrated, which I was, and I wanted to talk about it, there's a book called The Five Dysfunction of a Team.
Okay.
Like, I had this problem, and I'll say it loud and clear. I
Mhm.
was very um, confused why people are not enthused about the product or new things like I am.
Mhm.
And hopefully this happens with most of us, right?
Definitely, definitely.
So this tells you how different teams work. This trained me on something, saying people have their own learning curve.
Mhm.
You cannot force people to learn or to think about the things in the same way as you're thinking about it.
Right.
If people are trying to learn, then be there to help them, rather than forcing them to say, okay, you have seen this, try this. No, let them come up with that, whatever their learning curve in their life is, how much
Mhm.
they prioritize things. And when they are that stage, then be that person who helps you to kind of drive the thing ahead of them,
Mhm.
right? Where they are.
Right, right. Definitely.
If you're struggling with the processes, and these are my three favorites that I'm like,
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, great, great, great.
do read the book, The Goal.
Okay.
Even if you're not into management books and all, it's a nice, fine read. It doesn't talk from a management perspective. It gives you examples from the writer's life, how he kind of learned this.
Mhm.
It helps you. So, like, as we were talking before, there are processes, right, in your company. Now, as the process get older, you start believing and living with the process. That, okay,
Right.
this is how we do X. And if it reaches to a point, let's say in 5 years or 6 years, you are like, okay, this is how we operate. But the beauty is that, like, you are growing and the business is growing and product is growing, the process should also grow. But we don't touch it because we are like, okay, this is how it works. So the book Goal talks about a failed manufacturing company and all, and how he looks at these different work centers, machine centered processes, and then try to rearrange those pieces. And then what he learns from his life and brings it into his company
Mhm.
will help you to rethink about your processes. And these are things where I failed. And there were people around me who were able to suggest me these books to say, okay, read this, it'll help you in answering your questions.
Perfect,
Right.
perfect, perfect.
So
That's
yeah.
great. That's great because now I also read books, not a lot, but I read books. I have few books and I take out the time to read it. But I have not gone through these three, and definitely I'm going to now buy it from Amazon, Flipkart, and
Start with the goal.
have a good read.
It's
The
a
goal,
wise one.
perfect,
The goal.
perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. See, this is what I get, and this is the intention why I started. I'll tell you, whenever I start something, I don't want to be selfish, but I first think that what I'm going to learn from this, and definitely it is going to help everybody. But I always think about this, and I always, wanted that okay, people reach out to me to take few suggestions, whatever I know I gave them, but I also have to reach out to somebody. I have my peer levels, but peers will have the same mindset, almost similar. They might have different ideas, but the mindset and everything, the experience will be similar. So I wanted to reach out to many people who have seen a lot more than me, who are more experienced than me, and that's why I started this. And now I'm very fortunate that I'm doing why I wanted to start it. I'm exactly doing it, and I'm learning the same thing. So the expectation that I had, you may have enjoyed it, but it is a learning for me. So I must say that I thoroughly enjoyed this podcast,
Thank you,
and
man.
and, and I wish that you should have the same experience. And thanks a lot. I believe whenever you have some time, I would like to again speak to you on some topics, and I want to thank you a lot for coming and taking out the time on this podcast. Thanks a lot for this.
Thank you, Gulshan, for doing this. It's been a pleasure. I don't know how people think about me because I rarely interact with people. And me and Gulshan were talking about it before the podcast. Okay. And consider it our first discussion, even before this. Right. But I love to talk to people. The only thing is, it's surely time. We were able to kind of jam this based on email and all. It's important that you keep talking to the people. And I've surely
Correct.
watched more than you. And I'm talking about the series and the movies and all, not about the work and life. Right. But it's important to learn from each other. I have written some notes based on the previous talk before we started recording about the
Mhm.
movies recommendation.
Mhm.
So people, if you have recommendation, put it down. Right.
Definitely, definitely.
Right. And then yeah, I would love to talk to you anytime in future whenever you need. I'm available, and not just about business simple anything. As I consume a lot of stuff, so I'm ready to talk about a lot of stuff. Right.
So
But yeah,
community, it is open now. If you have
it is always
anything,
open.
you can give all the questions where you are stuck, where you need guidance. We will summarize it, and we have a mentor in place. We will again have a session whenever you need.
Oh yeah,
So it's all
if
about
you
the
want, yeah,
product, the mentorship, everything. So
yeah. If you
thanks a lot
want with
because
your friend together, we'll do it. A jam of the. I don't mind.
definitely, definitely, definitely. And then thanks a lot for today's time. Thank you.
Not Mama. Anytime.